We are so serious today that it is so annoying. We have no energy left inside of us for Super Bowl Sunday because we've been partying like crazy animals all weekend.
All weekend. Thank God it's another Ali day.
Super Bowl Sunday edition. So today, because I know you're not going to lead into it, I'm feeling super self-conscious about this low-rise shirt that I have on.
It's fine.
Because my husband, I'm trying to accommodate my husband and still be holy on Sunday. But I don't know. Because I'm really self-conscious about it, babe. Should I take it off?
No, it's cool. Let's just hop right into it.
Okay.
Yesterday, so we experienced CIAA weekend. It's ending Sunday, which
What
is...
if they don't know what CIAA is, honey?
Today. CIAA is... there's a yearly tournament that happens. I don't know what CIAA stands for, but it's a yearly tournament that happens, basketball, right? And so it's not even about the tournament anymore. People come from all over to Charlotte and they party, right? So this was our first experience in CIAA, and we went out. And so one thing is, Felicia, when we went out, we were dancing, having fun. Then afterward, she felt bad. I'm like, why do you feel bad? She's like, because you're a preacher, and I'm your wife. I'm not supposed to be allowing you into this world and this and that and blah, blah, blah. As if she has a say, as if she can control my behavior, which you can't, So what I decided to do is what I decide to do. And I made the decision to honor our marriage. That's why I'm not out here doing some crazy stuff. But I like to dance. And I make it no secret that I don't always listen to gospel music. Gospel music is my default music. That's what I go to first. Immediately. When we started dating, I would play a gospel music all the time. She's in her head. She didn't tell me until we were really serious in our relationship. But in her head, she's like, "Oh my God, this dude is always playing gospel." But I listen to other music. I appreciate all types of music. So I say all that to say, I love to dance, I love music, and those two combined, I don't care where I am. You go to church functions, they play the electric slide and all that, you dance. It's no different for me going to a club or a lounge or something and doing the same thing. Am I a clubber? No, not at all. That's not my type of setting, but I'm cool with it. However, last night was a reminder to me why I don't go out. So I got into a confrontation with this guy who said something inappropriate to my wife. So we settled it. But before I get into the story of what happened, let me tell you why it happened. It's because Felicia walked in front of me as if she was by herself, like a single chick. And I'm walking behind her, but I'm talking to one of our family members who went with us. And I was thinking, why is she walking ahead of me? Like, you started when we left Wet Woolies, and you were just like...
It was just so cold.
Yeah, she was just so cold.
I was trying to get there, and he was with his cool self walking, his normal cool pace. And I wasn't thinking. I was just like, I'm cold, and the woman I was with was cold also, whose husband he was walking with, and we both left our husbands. It wasn't like I just left my husband, but like we both just walked ahead of them because we were trying to get to our destination quickly.
Right. But it was the outfit that Felicia was wearing too. Her walking by herself seems like she would have been in attention-seeking woman, right? But her outfit was like bam. Her butt was like ooh, 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 like going. So I was thinking in my head, if she keeps on walking, somebody's going to say something to her.
So I was walking down the street with my aunt, and the guy says to the girl, I guess he's trying to convince her because he's got like his arms wrapped around her and he's doing this. And so he says to her, yeah, like you should be happy I can have my arms wrapped around you. Look at her, she walking by herself. She cold too. She don't have nobody wrapping their arms around her. And I was like, y'all know me. I was like, my husband is right behind me. And then he said, well, partner obviously ain't doing his job. Homie ain't doing his job because you walking by yourself. And I was like, no, I'm walking by myself because I was cold.
And then I come up. Now, I didn't know what was said between them two. All I know is that I saw my wife's head go back, and I saw her little look. And then one of our other family members, our cousin, she looked at me like that. So I come up to his right side, and I'm like, "What'd you say?" Right? So he was like, "Yo, homie, I just said to her something, something," talking with his New York accent, and I was like, "Oh, okay, homie," right? And then we had this little thing. So he was like, he said, "Yo, you need to just go ahead." I was like, "Don't talk to me like that. I'll go when I want to go. Right now, I'm talking to you, right?" So it's getting heated, and I'm feeling it, and I'm thinking, I'm not the type of person, and I've never been, and I've never been the type of person to talk, and then build up in order to fight. It's either if I feel threatened, I feel like I have to hit you because it's about to happen. So I'm getting my fist balled up, and I'm looking this dude. I'm sizing him up. I'm sizing how big his hands is, because if his hands hit my face, it's going to really hurt me, or am I going to be able to bounce back? And I'm seeing his hands are skinny like mine, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. Because heavy-handed people, they throw a big punch. Then I'm looking, and he has two other friends. Now I saw the one friend, but then there's another short guy who was coming up the stairs. I'm like, okay, so y'all gonna try to jump me? That's perfectly fine with me. I've been jumped before. That's not a problem. But the fact that I had to get into that mind frame leads me to the point of, and we squashed it. Like, I know how to break patterns too. And not because I'm scared, but my wife, she came up, and
Because I was gonna jump in it because
yeah,
it wasn't gonna be no jumping.
yeah, like my wife is the type of person that if a guy is trying to fight me, she'll jump in on the guy too. And I try to tell her, no, don't do that. But she's like, no,
No.
I'm your rider, and that's what's going
And
to
that's
happen.
right.
So, in order for my wife to not get messy and for her to stay beautiful, I was like, he said something to me like, yo, man, no, sorry, man, let's just go ahead, let's just go ahead. And I was like, you know what, brother, I get it. We got a New York state of mind, right? So he was like, oh, you from New York? I'm like, well, from Western New York. He was like, okay, fam. Yo, we always butt heads with one another, but at the end of the day, we all family. I'm like, exactly. I was like, you know what, let me just chill. Cause this dude clearly doesn't want to do anything. His boys are walking up for some type of intimidation. I don't know, but I wasn't backing down. And I could see they just wanted to have fun. I mean, clearly, they was like, yo, let's just have fun, let's just get drunk. I'm like, I don't get drunk, but I'll have fun. But anyway, brings me to my point of, first, that would have never happened had you not walked up in front of me. And Felicia has a habit, like you have a habit of, if we're out in the secular world or even if we're in church, you have a habit of like walking away. That's why sometimes one of my pet peeves with her is when I'm talking to people, because I'm a preacher. I've people have the stigma of preachers, they save your soul. So if I'm doing if I've buried somebody's mother or father or brother or something, they're looking at me in a certain light, like, wow, you preach this wonderful sermon or this eulogy for my family members. So they just want to talk. And Felicia, because she's like, oh, okay, I don't really know this person, she'll like drift off and walk away. And that used to really piss me off because I'm like, you need to stand right there at all times. You have to. Because first off, you walk away, it makes you look like you're off-putting. And then that makes me look some way. And then it makes me look like, oh, you married a B for a wife. And I don't want people to look at her in that light because she has a very good heart. But when she does things like that, then it's like you kind of set yourself up for people to look at you like this dude is a saint and this chick is
A sinner.
not even a sinner. Like she has a bad attitude.
A sinner.
And that's even worse than a sinner. It's even worse because people who meet folks and your first interaction is like this chick has a bad attitude. Folks don't get away from that. And that's what I keep on trying to drive in you all the time. Like you have to be on it all the time. The second thing is though, her walking away, it's like Felicia gets a bit too loose, and you have to wrangle it back a little bit because then that puts me in a situation which I don't care if I'm ever put in a situation to protect you. I'll fight anybody for you. That doesn't matter. But I shouldn't even be in that predicament because I love to give love and I just like peace, So, I mean, that happened. It is what it is now, but that was like a learning lesson for us. And Felicia said something to me earlier this morning, like, yeah, that's why, like, our out life, we're not out people. And I was thinking, well, if I want to go out again, I
And I don't support
I'll go
that.
out again. And
I don't
you don't
support
support
that. I don't support that. And it was a night party, which if you guys don't know about CIAA, there's day parties and there's night parties. Day parties, I learned. This is our first experience.
First experience.
The day parties are typically more mature.
Yes.
It's a more rational vibe. People
more rational. The
Yeah.
night parties are more ratchet. Okay.
And right, and turned up. People have been drinking all day.
Young people,
turned, and
yeah.
the energy is way different. Yeah. And so we then get together yesterday. We're out, we enjoying, we danced on the street. It was a great time.
It was a great time, yeah.
Which you'll see in a later vlog.
Right.
But then we went to a day party, and it was so dope. We had such a good time.
Yes.
We danced together, and we the funny thing happened with the girl.
Oh yes, so that is the benefit of going out, okay? That's the benefit. Felicia and I are dancing, and this girl, she comes to Felicia. I'm like, what is she about to whisper to my wife? I thought that she was going to say, I want to dance with that dude or something, because I was like, why is she talking to my wife? She said to Felicia, do you know him? Because, girl, you was dancing up on him, and he is just as happy as can be, right? And she was like, yes, I saw Felicia doing like this. Right, so I guess she told the girl, yes, that's my husband. And she's like, oh, okay. I like that because, and I saw the female looking at me. I'm like, this chick is staring. But she was staring because she saw the excitement on my face while I'm dancing with my wife.
I was backing it up.
Yeah, so she was like, this dude is hecka happy. Oh my God, you okay? You need some help? Because he looks like he is really, really into this. But I was, because like I'm dancing with my wife. So that's the benefit though. People don't look at our fingers usually. So when we're dancing, I've noticed over this weekend, folks would just be looking at us. Like this one guy, he came over and he was like, oh my God, they is doing, like they is crazy. And I'm like, this is my wife though. Like I'm not dancing with a stranger chick and she's not all up on me and kissing up on me and we're total strangers, you know?
So that was
that's
really
funny.
That was a perk.
Yeah, that's funny.
But getting more into the point, so it was a good time. So if you ever want to try CIAA, I would recommend day parties if you're grown.
Yes.
Night parties if you ratchet, or you like a little bit of the
like
ratchet
a little
visual.
bit of ratchet vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, for me, once that happened, so now we're rounding up to go to the night party. That's when the situation with Sharif and the guy happened. And then I couldn't get my head right for several reasons. Number one, I am a Proverbs 31 reader. I read Proverbs 31 every single morning because it encourages me when I feel weak and weary, and no matter what I'm going through, it reminds me of the strength that I have to have because my husband is a respected leader at the City Gates. And so I really feel that this is important to live your life that way. It's important to, be able to stay up and make sure that the family's okay and stuff, because I see things that you don't.
Right.
And so I saw that happening before it happened.
Right.
And I quickly acknowledged my wrong in that. And I was just like, I don't want to go out anymore, And so like at the end of the day, I'm around for it, And Sharif grew up in the hood too. But like you said, his heart is pure. His heart is good. His heart is like love, peace, happiness, kumbaya. But I'm like, where we at? And so when we were standing there and it was over and they slapped up, they shook hands, everything was good. The guy came up to us again and was like, it's peace.
Have a good night.
Whatever, y'all have a good night. But for me, I'm like, I don't trust them.
Right. And I was thinking that same thing too, because, although I did not live the lifestyle, I know about the lifestyle. So the three guys, they walked away.
Right.
So now I'm thinking.
He come up to us first and he's like, y'all have a great night, whatever. Oh, and you too, shorty. But for y'all really have a good night.
Right. Then they walked away. So now my mind is somewhere else, because I'm like, did you walk away to go get something? Because if you are, now I need to be extra prepared. So then I see that they're coming back. So now we're in a situation where I tell Felicia, you need to stand over here.
Right.
She's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, no.
Right.
I'm like, no, seriously. Because now me and you about to get into an argument.
Right.
Stand right here, like I just said. And I'm going to face this way, act like I'm looking this way. But really, I'm looking at these dudes. Because I'm like, I don't know if y'all got a gun.
Right.
I don't know if you have a knife. But if you do, I have to be prepared to, first of all, protect this and then make sure she's okay and do what I have to do. But again, that wouldn't even happen.
That wouldn't happen if I would have walked away.
If you didn't walk away and if we weren't out.
And if we weren't out. But the thing about it is I felt convicted because, like I say continually, you are our covering, but I am the shelter.
Right. And
it's just some things that I need to remember. When I get in certain situations, I do go back to my old self, to what I'm comfortable, my norm, and that's not cool. We don't go out often.
Right.
So I don't know how to go out with you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when I go out, if I'm cold, I walk fast.
Right.
I wasn't coming from a wife place. I was coming from a single person's place.
No,
And I wasn't
wouldn't even say. I wouldn't say a single person, because I
That's
mean,
where I was coming from.
yeah, like the end of the day,
I consider you in every single
okay,
thing I do.
I get that,
But I did not consider you in that regard.
You can't say that anymore, because, and I used to say that about myself when I'm like, like I'm acting like a single person, blah 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 blah. Like, that's not even to downgrade a single person. Single people have a certain mentality.
Yeah,
we're
single.
Yeah, I understand,
One.
but we're married.
Right.
We're married, so you can't even possibly come from a single place anymore, because
I
we're
did.
so conditioned. No, you didn't. You came from a free spirited place. You are a free spirited person. That's something that you have to really accept. You're free spirited, and when you have certain impulses like I'm cold, your free spirit says, "Well, hurry up and get to some shelter." I understand. You're saying it's like.
Yes, but I can
you're
be
acting
a
like
free
single
spirit
woman.
within
Right.
a marriage, our
Okay.
marriage, which.
So this is one. Let me tell you something, because this is one thing that I think that I heard you say when we were in Wet Willie's. Did you? And I could be wrong. Did I hear you say something like, "Honey, come on"?
I did.
Okay. All right. A wife. You started from that wife place first.
Yes.
That's how you were. You were like, "Honey, come on," but at the moment, I wasn't coming on because I was with the security guard, right? So I heard you say that, but you kept going. Your free spirited self, not your single woman self, nothing like that. You were like, "I need to get to to a warm place." Let's not forget, you were walking with another wife.
Right.
You were. So you weren't just by yourself. You were walking with another wife. In your mind, you were still doing the right thing. But in her being a free spirit, Felicia at times has to dial it back, because what should have happened was I think you should have held on to that "honey, come on," and then either walked with me and been like, "Let's go," because I need to hurry up and get to some.
I'm not going to
shelter
disrespect
or
my husband.
place.
You're talking to another man. I'm not going to keep standing there like, come on, come on, come on. I understand what you're saying, and I'm open to it. I am. But I'm my mind. I know what my thoughts were. And I used to go out all the time. I wasn't, no longer was I thinking about you at all. Period.
Okay,
I was
okay.
gone. I was off to the races. And
that was wrong.
And the clause B, more importantly than the walk away, was the fact that, I should have thought about my husband when I say what I want. And when the guy said whatever to me, I could have shrugged it off. Like, he was talking to the girl about me. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking, I don't want my husband to look away, and this, whatever. I could have just kept it moving. But instead, I blurted out whatever I said.
Right.
That is what I'm talking about when I said I was coming from a single place. Because that is Felicia in situations like that. I don't care who you are. Tall, short, big, little. Look, hey, don't come for me, or I'm coming for you back. And I don't see anything wrong with that. He should not have used me as an example to get some. Is how I was thinking in that moment. But how I should have been thinking, how a wife should be thinking, is if I say something to this man and this man say something back to me, which it could go either way, what position does this put my husband in?
Right.
So I feel as though you're, not that you're soft at all, but I put you in danger. And that is not what the Proverbs 31 woman does. So for me, at that point, it was like, you need to do better at remembering that you're not a single person, and that everything that you do, someone else is affected by it.
Right.
Our kids could have very easily lost both of their parents last night because of my mouth.
Right.
And that's the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
And that is the whole thing, the whole story. First of all, I don't think that we should be going out to clubs, because not everybody in the world understands that you're a preacher who likes to dance.
I've been preaching since for like going on 20 years now, right? And I'm not in a place where I'm like, I've been preaching so long, I just want to experience the world. I've been experiencing the world ever since I was a preacher. I mean, one thing that was told to me by my pastor, and I'll still remember this to the day, is, like, I'm this 14-year-old little boy, and he's like, don't forget, even though you're getting this certificate to minister, you're still a teenager. Be a kid. It did resonate with me, but it didn't really make sense until I was older. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what that meant. So I'm not in this place where I've been so serious and acting like a grown-up when I was a kid that now I'm just busting loose. The bottom line is, just like my wife said, I'm a preacher and I like to dance, and I make it no hidden secret. I like music, all types of music. So
But God has
those
given
things
you
mixed together.
a wife
We got what?
who
Give me one.
who has many different walks of life experience, and I was the parishioner before I was the preacher's wife. And there are certain things from my perspective that you do that your wife may do that people are looking at the person who doesn't know, who hasn't been a church all their life, and they're judging you and your wife based off of Snapchat or whatever.
For sure.
You know what I mean? That's why I don't snap certain things that I do. And so that's what I feel. I think that we're in a place where it's good that we're free. We're in a new city. We're trying to experience and explore, and a lot of people here don't know that you're a preacher. So I think that that's a pro. But on the flip side, when I wake up in the morning, I feel like I did something dirty and wrong.
Right. And I mean, that's cool. The scripture does say that, if you are doing something to offend your brother, then basically don't do it. And I totally believe in that. Not for the sake of being political, but I believe if someone sees the God in you, perhaps that's what they need to see. At the same time, though, I'm not at that place yet where I guess it makes full sense. Right now, I'm still living my life as I can.
I am. Right. And I think that that's what he does sometimes. He uses...
So what are you saying?
I'm saying that I just don't think that we're in a season where, clubbing should be
But we don't even club. We went to CIAA weekend.
Well, right, but I've been dipping and dabbing a little bit.
You have been
I've been dipping and dabbing since I've been in Charlotte. I've been lonely. You know, and so
that was all circumstantial
on the weekend, but it's no excuse because I still have to be accountable.
Right, that's true. But you've been, there's no but. Like, I get that. You've been making new friends, and so
I think that I've been doing dipping and dabbing, and now you're dipping and dabbing, and we don't have any accountability because we're in a new city, and that's cool. But I think that the Lord is convicting me.
Okay, so
now, so my conviction is your conviction because I'm your wife. I'm your voice of reason.
Okay, 'cause I'm not feeling no type of conviction for me going to CIAA weekend. I'm not feeling no type of conviction. I just don't.
I think that situation was an example of what happens in the dark and why.
I get that.
Like, we shouldn't put ourselves in those types of situations. And again, our kids could have lost both of their parents last night because we were just trying to enjoy ourselves.
Right.
But we shouldn't have been in that forum.
I get that.
To begin with. So the point in this video for me is, as a wife, I think that number one, you have to listen to the voice of God when you hear it. And number two, you still have to consider your husband and his heart, which is why I'm sitting here with this shirt on.
Right.
Because I know that it's something that you're attracted to and that you like, but will I ever wear this shirt outside? No. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't want negative attention. And the third thing is, always consider your husband. Always keep your husband in mind. Because it is easy. You don't understand. I didn't get married when I was 15, 18, 21, 25 like you. I was a single person for 31 years.
Right.
And a free spirit. And I operated as such. And so now that I have to take someone into consideration, new situations that I haven't been a wife in, I don't know how to be a wife in.
And I'll add to that too by saying, if you are a woman, I think, who has a strong personality, let's say, that there are those times that you just have to remember, like you said, remember your husband, consider your husband, not even dial it back again, but channel it though, like seriously channel it, because when you're a strong personality woman who's been having that strong personality for years and years and years and years, it's kind of hard to recondition your mind, and you really do have to do that, because you could, like in this situation, you could put your husband in harm's way, you could put yourself in harm's way.
You can leave your kids as orphans.
Your children, you can leave them as orphans, so, wives really, that's why that is important, that a wife was made from the rib.
Exactly.
You're supposed to be protected, but she's the closest thing to the heart.
Exactly.
Too. So, remember that.
And I thank you so much for being understanding of my personhood and being supportive and understanding that I'm still growing as a wife. We've been married 5 years, but I'm still learning.
Yes.
And so I thank you for being understanding and letting me spread my wings.
Yes.
But that's not something I'll be partaking in.
Right. That's something she won't be partaking in then, guys, anymore.
Yeah. So
notice I said
guys,
she.
Comment below.
Because I'm clubbing all night.
That's not a fact.
Bottles.
That is not a fact.
No. I'm so kidding.
That is not a fact. Thank you so much, guys, for watching.
I'm not kidding.
Please comment below. We love you. We love you. Bye.